All right, Nerd Initiative here. We've got Tracie Ching, and you've probably seen her work before, but you may have not been able to put a face together with it. So Tracie, how long have you been doing this?
Oh my gosh, it's been one of those things where it's long enough that I've lost track of time. I think I've been full-time freelance for about 12 years now, I want to say. So since 2009, once I graduated, I started kind of coming up and training myself, and then I was full-time freelance about 4 years after that. So yeah, it would be at least 10 years now.
Okay, and can you explain your style of art? Because it's a little bit different from most artists here.
It is. It's largely inspired by cross-hatching, so really classic engraving styles and based off of old Edwardian and Victorian style artwork, but with a lot more of a graphic and comics twist.
Okay, and you have gotten interest from some large licenses. Can you explain some of the people that you've partnered with?
Yeah, so I do a lot of pop culture stuff, a lot of alternative movies. So I've worked with Hasbro, I've worked with Lucasfilm and Disney. I've also worked with ESPN and the White House. So I'm really all over the place, which is why it's kind of funny. Because yes, I've been in your house. You just didn't know it.
Right, and you've been in a number of publications like Politico in the past.
Yes.
And you're kind of focusing more on the style of art that you like. And
yes.
Can you kind of explain a little bit of the reason behind that?
Yeah, I think with the privilege of time and success, I've been able to choose my clients based on what I would like to ultimately draw, because when I was younger, you don't really have the opportunity to pick and choose, but I can now choose people I want to look at for 40 hours at a shot, right? And so I will pick properties I'm engaged by, companies that I believe in, causes I believe in, and it's nice because I balance my commercial work, which has a larger price tag, and I'm able to take, the privilege of working with those, and then work on projects that maybe don't pay as well for grassroots campaigns or other things, and do pro bono work for clients that I would like to support as an artist.
Okay. And of all of the things that you've worked with, because you're also in Blu-ray, cover art, you're also doing the cover art for some Star Wars books and other things. What has been your favorite thing that you've worked on so far?
And that's always a really hard question, because I think the kind of dichotomy of what it is to be an artist is what other folks love about your work is not always what you love. Mm-hmm. And I think that recently there's a project I haven't been able to speak about yet that I worked on, and I love because it created a challenge, and that changes every time I get a new project that helps me grow as an artist or helps me explore something new. And so I know folks love the Star Wars books, and they love the steel books, which were so much fun to work on. But I did key art for a really small independent film that was historical and all also horror based recently, which was amazing, and I got to do some new things, and that's been my most exciting project, because I got to do some really new and exciting things for a property no one's seen before. Sure. I got to work on something that's brand new and fresh, instead of trying to find a way to retranslate this really time-honored property. So I'm definitely more excited by things that are bringing me something new and interesting to work on.
Yeah. And you've also done more than just the licensed properties. You've also gone and done some community murals and things like that in the past too.
Yes, yeah, I worked with POW DC for a mural. I've done the International Spy Museum. I did their pre-theater mural, which is wild and weird because I'm so used to working in really tangible and accessible art, right? So in multiples, and having it be 100-foot wall and larger than life has been oh, I'm gonna have to draw a lot more lines for that one. And so yeah, they were a lot of fun to be in a public space, but doing murals was yeah, I'm not a painter, I should probably stay in my own lane. But it was awesome being able to share that with other folks and see them taking photos in front of the artwork and stuff like that.
Now, also in the last couple of years, you've also been able to invest in other people. I understand some female artists and things like that. Can you talk on that?
Yes, I'm so excited. I started a mentorship and grant program. So every other year we have a new cohort, and we recently expanded. This upcoming September, we open applications for our third cohort, and we've expanded it to 3 grants. So each grant is $2,000, and the 3 mentors that come in get a one-on-one, 1-year mentorship. And it's all for visual arts and people trying to kind of kickstart their career, up-and-coming marginalized artists.
That's wonderful. And is there any advice that you would give to someone who is maybe coming out of art school or considering what to do, education-wise, or any tips to kind of pursue what they love?
Yeah, when I went to art school, I feel what's so common with, regardless of whether you're in illustration or you're in fine art or you're in comics, it kind of really comes down to people trying to put you in a box and tell you, what you should chase, what trends, what's the shiny parts. And I think that that's like a mirage, right? You're going to chase and find out that it's such an empty goal to have in the end, that you really have to stay focused internally and chase like what you find passionate, even if people tell you it's not interesting or it's like not going to do well. I was told over and over that I wasn't going to be able to bring cross hatching to a pop culture venue because it was too old to be new, but that's what I was interested in. And so at the end of the day, you have to stay true to what you're interested in, because otherwise it's going to be impossible to motivate yourself for a lifelong career, let alone the very serious trials you face as a creative. So you have to make sure that no matter what you're carrying externally, as long as you are engaged with it, you will find a community, or worse comes to worse, is you create your own, which has its own really amazing benefits from it.
Yeah. And finally, I could have probably asked this at the beginning, but what really inspired you to get into art in the first place?
So it's always really hard, and I feel like kind of it's not like a humble brag, but I had sketchbooks as a child before I had permanent memory. Like I came online as a human being already having like sketchbooks at home, and so there wasn't really like a time where I was like, oh, I've decided. It was already kind of pre-decided for me. Like no one in my family thought I was going to do anything but art. They're like, yeah, that's what she does, because it was always a part of who I was as a person. And eventually I just found a way to like do it as a living. But I think even if I couldn't find that way, I would still be doing it on the side even if I couldn't. So it was kind of just like pre-designed to just be in the art field, I guess.
Yeah. Is there, now a lot of things that you work with you have to keep quiet, but is there anything that you're able to talk about that's coming up next that you're looking forward to, or for everybody to look out for?
I would keep an eye on Hasbro coming this August. There's a very big project I've been working on for, gosh, I think it's like 2 years now, that should be launching. If not August and September, that I'm really, really excited about, and it's really neat. And it's a collaboration between not just myself but other artists as well.
Okay.
So very excited about that. So I would keep eyes out for that one.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time.
It's so good to see you again.
Absolutely. All right.